Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. And what a night it was for Chelsea in the San Siro, running out 2-0 winners against AC Milan. First win in the San Siro. It was pretty much a perfect night. 4 wins on the spin now in all comps. 3 clean sheets in a row. We're playing some good football and there's a great vibe around the club again. It feels like a while since we've been playing this well. But tonight, like the first leg, was a lot easier than I think any Chelsea fans expected. Obviously, the referee and the red card helped us out big time, and we'll get into that. But we're playing some really nice stuff at the moment. The players seem happy, and things seem to be going well. And players are banging form. Mason Mount was superb tonight. Aubameyang getting another goal. Koulibaly, I felt, had his best game in a Chelsea shirt. And yeah, everything just seems to be going pretty well at the moment. I'm delighted to be joined by Pys. Bro, great to have you back on. It's been a while since we chatted, mate. What were your thoughts on that game? I mean, same as me, not expecting it to be that easy, really. I guess it's the same for both games, isn't it? Both games were a lot more straightforward than any of us would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I don't think we could have, planned out a better 2 games against AC Milan, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, the red card early in the game did help us, but again, we performed really well tonight. I think we could have got even more goals if we wanted to. I feel like in the second half we was just being professional, passing the ball around. We still have a few chances, a few attacks, but the job was really done in the first half. And just a professional performance. Really, I really enjoyed it. Relaxed, comfortable. AC Milan didn't threaten us too much, and even when they did, I think our defense dealt with it pretty well. So yeah, I'm really happy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to quickly get to it now because I've just seen Reece James put something out on his Twitter like about five or so minutes ago. You'd say the only downer really means fingers crossed it's not a bad one. Love for all the messages. I appreciate you all. Obviously, the only downer on the night, potentially an injury to Reece James. The one area that really we can't afford to get an injury to, A, because of the depth, lack of depth in that area, and B, just because how important Reece James is to this side. I mean, well, I don't know what it is about playing Italian sides, mate, and picking up injuries to defenders. We had Chile against Juve, we had Fofana last week against Milan, and now Reece James. I mean, this is really important that this is not a big problem because this is the one area of the pitch, as I said, that we can't really afford to get any injuries to in it. I mean, it looked like his knee potentially. I'm not really sure why we didn't just take him off straight away. While we just carried on for a few minutes to see. I think we should have just taken him off then. The game was done, but. I mean, fingers crossed it's not a bad one. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this, mate?
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. The knee is a funny area. It was obviously when he went in for the tackle, stamped it down quite hard from what I can see. Yeah, I was just a bit disappointed that the medical staff didn't, bring him off. Say, look, let's not, risk you. There's no point going back on. You're 2-0 up, and sometimes you just have to take the decision away from the player, in my opinion, even though they're going to be disappointed. Look, I can imagine Reece wanted to try it, but look, let's hope that hasn't done even more damage to what it already is. And I guess, like Graham Potter said, we'll have to find out in 24 or 48 hours.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, Villa at the weekend looks like probably not possible, but there's no point thinking about that now. It was a great night. I mean, in terms of the starting lineup, obviously, we had the 7 changes from Wolves. Most of the big hitters all came back in. Did you have any issues with Jorginho starting? I know, obviously, he had a great game tonight, which we'll get onto later on. But, I mean, were you a bit surprised that Ruben was dropped? Or I say dropped, I guess, whatever you want to call it, rotated. So I felt that, really, he deserved to start this game. Ultimately, I know Jorginho played really well tonight, and it doesn't really matter. But do you think Ruben was a bit hard done by in this?
I mean, maybe on his end, yeah, you could say that. But at the end of the day, I think, when I did my lineup prediction, I think I said Ruben, but I said I wouldn't be surprised or shocked or angry if Jorginho played. And I think what Graham Potter said was that Jorginho is just much more experienced. He knows this stadium particularly well as well, and I think you can't be angry tonight after his performance. I think he was really good. Kovacic as well. Especially when we're keeping the ball. I think there's not really many better sort of midfield pivots you could use just to pass the ball side to side and switch the play. So yeah, I think it all worked out well in the end. I guess it worked out well for Ruben as well because he came on and looked quite positive. So I guess it's a win-win in every way. He's a little bit probably disappointed he didn't start, but he'll understand.
I mean, I guess let's get on to the main talking point, mate. Really, really it changed the game. Before we get to that, mate, what did you make of the ref tonight? I mean, I've never seen a referee so card happy. Literally every foul that was given was a booking. It looked like the occasion was getting the better of him. I mean, he was terrible tonight, wasn't he? Like the ref was just, he was all over the place. I mean, what did you make of his performance and the fact that he was just dishing out red cards left, right, and centre and bookings? Oh, don't know if Pys has gone a bit quiet there. Bro, can you hear me? Oh, well, I'll wait for Pys to come back into the mix here. But yeah, no, the ref tonight I felt was yeah, it was certainly interesting. I never not really come across a referee that's so kind of card happy, just wanting to dish out yellow cards left, right, and centre. I don't know if he was kind of, I don't know if he had a bet on a certain amount of bookings tonight and he was just dishing the cards out. But I've never seen someone come to give out so many bookings. Like literally every foul was a booking, and you just felt like it was going to be a problem. I mean, yeah, I think Pys is having a few issues here, so I'll just carry on. Yeah, he's gonna be back in a sec. Yeah, at the end of the day, let me just get to a few things in the chat while Pys just sorts his computer out. Yeah, Texas, I agree, bro. Mount Resurgence. He was fantastic tonight. Really, really good performance. I don't know if he was just taken off at halftime. Yes, bro. I was just saying, mate. What did you make of the ref tonight? In terms of his performance, because he was just dishing out cards left, right, and centre. Looked like the occasion was getting the better of him. I mean, what did you make of how he reffed the game? Because I thought it was terrible. Oh, is he still not here? Oh, no, Pys can't hear me. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he'll be back. Yeah, Graham Potter said, was that Mount was taken off for rest? I mean, that's a great position to be in, to be that many, to be sort of player half, and then let me remove that one, add this one. How are we doing, mate?
Sorry, I'm having some issues. My computer died, and then the internet's going off.
Bro, we're good. We're good, mate. We're good.
Yeah,
we're sorted. We're sorted. Yeah, I was just saying, mate. What did you make of the ref tonight? Because I haven't seen a refereeing performance like that in a long time. In terms of a ref just dishing out cards for pretty much every foul, letting the occasion get the better of him. It was an odd performance from him.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll get everything in order. Yeah. I mean, the referee was absolutely crazy. I don't actually know how many yellow cards each team got, but I'm pretty sure if you added them all up, it's got to be some close to a record or maybe even a record. He was just incredibly strict. Like I knew it from the very first whistle. Yeah, just the amount of yellow cards. I mean, some of them were yellow cards, but I think like 60-70% of them just weren't. The most insane decision of the night for me was the one where Kovacic won the ball. We had a breakaway. I think it was like 4-on-3 or something like that. Yeah. We had runners to the left and right. Literally, it's a goal scoring opportunity, and he's literally just blown the whistle. And on the replays, it's a great tackle. He's won the ball fairly, and yeah, I didn't like the ref, but at the end of the day, he's just one of those. And sometimes you run into these European refs that are just absolutely, like, for me, just wanted to be the centre of attention, kind of like Mike Dean vibe sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, the red card obviously is the big talking point, and look, I think the thing is, I think it was soft because he didn't exactly like drag him down as such, but at the end of the day, he does like stop his momentum, and obviously the shot is sort of not as good because he's going down because of the tug. So I think anywhere else on the pitch, that's probably a foul. And inside the box, I mean, I don't know how people are arguing with a red card because it's a goal scoring opportunity. There's no one else around him apart from the goalie. So I think it is a red card based on rules.
I guess, yeah, it's definitely a penalty because he pulls him back. He's making no attempt to play the ball. And I guess by the letter of the law in that situation, if you commit a foul in the box, making no attempt to play the ball, and someone's through on goal, it probably is a red card. I guess the only way, I think it is very soft. But I guess you could argue like sort of that double jeopardy rule that's sort of in place, not in place. That should it be a penalty and a red card? Surely it should just be the penalty. I don't really know, but ultimately that does massively change the game. Jorginho steps up despite lasers being shined on him, and he puts the penalty away. But I mean, from there, mate, it was pretty plain sailing. Milan literally that one chance really from Olivier Giroud's header, which he should have done a lot better with. But really, it was pretty plain sailing. I mean, Mount only played one half. But what did you make of him tonight? I thought he was exceptional. Obviously wins the penalty, sets up the Aubameyang goal. He seems to be back in form now. Was pretty good against Milan at the Stamford Bridge. Was great at the weekend against Wolves. and was fantastic again tonight. He's back into form now, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. Mount's been playing really, really well, and him in that like number 8 position, even little bit further forward as like a number 10. And even sometimes off the sides, he's been playing really well in all these attacking positions, and he's picking his form up now. I think the last sort of 2, 3 games, he's been really good. He got the man of the match tonight, and he was integral. He was integral. He was integral at the weekend. The layoff to Aubameyang was absolutely perfect, and yeah, he was just really good all night. Some of his like half turns were really good. His passing, distribution was really good with the ball. So yeah, I was impressed with his performance for sure.
Yeah, apparently, someone in the chat saying that he was the official man of the match, even though he just played a half. So it goes to show how good he was tonight. Talking of players that are playing well, and it's a while since we've said this, but we've actually got a number 9 that's scoring goals and is playing pretty well. That's three in his last 3 for Aubameyang now. A great finish tonight as well. Realistically, probably his only chance of the game. Yes, he had that one chance where that a miss hit shot from Cover, and he got on the end of it, but it didn't quite go in. But Pys at the moment, bro, he's looking lethal in front of goal, isn't it? Realistically, he had what, one chance against Palace, and he tucked it away with a great finish. He had pretty much one chance against Milan at Stamford Bridge, and he had one chance tonight. His conversion rate is fantastic at the moment. It just goes to show how important it is just having a centre forward that can just put the ball in the net. How impressed have you been with Aubameyang in sort of the last 3 games? Now that the mask's off, he looks fully fit. We look like we could have found someone that can stick the ball in the net.
Yeah, that's all we need, I think. Chance in front of goal. We just need someone to score goals, man. Like, I'm not too fussed with the sort of overall round player. I don't think he was great in that aspect tonight. He lost the ball quite a few times. But at the end of the day, he scored for us tonight, and that's one of our goals away at the San Siro. So that's all you can really ask for him. He's never really been a striker that, he'll try and involve himself in link-up play. I think a good example of that was Crystal Palace. He did really well in that game, dropping deep, and you saw him tonight out on the wings quite a little bit. But we've bought him to score goals. We've not bought him to be a Havertz or a Firmino, but it would be nice if he can get even better at that as well, because then we've really got like the complete striker. And yeah, I hope for him as well that he keeps his confidence up, keep playing as much as you can. Probably expect him to start again on the weekend because it's only Tuesday now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to keeping his run going, hopefully. And the thing is now is we're creating plenty of chances for him to score, or at least we're getting into the box where rebounds might happen, they might fall to him. So yeah, we're getting in those areas now where I think for me the difference so far with Graham Potter and Tuchel is we have more players in and around the box. Whereas for me, I felt like with Tuchel we get a little bit isolated at times. We didn't have enough runners into the box, whereas now you see Mount coming in deep, you see Kovacic going more forward. There's just more numbers in the box centrally as well. So I'm enjoying that aspect at the moment.
Mate, what do you think that's down to? Because I've noticed that as well. I've been to a few of the games recently. Obviously, Palace away and then Wolves at home. Been to the last 2 league games, and for whatever reason, we do look like we look a lot better going forward. As you say, there's a lot more options in the box. There's a lot more players in the box, and it looks like we spend a lot more time in the attacking third as well. Possession seems to be more based in that area. We're actually passing the ball forward from midfield rather than recycling possession. You're impressed with how Potter's kind of not made any sort of drastic changes, but he's actually made some small changes that seems to be making a big difference, because we look a lot better going forward and not really an awful lot's changed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's probably just instructions and also confidence. I think once you win, what have we won? I think we've won 4 out of 5 games now.
4 in a
So
row now, yeah.
yeah, confidence is just seeping through this team, and we need to keep it up for as long as possible. Especially like the biggest thing now is like we're in this busy schedule, and if we can win most of our games, then we've got a World Cup, and then after that, it's still busy, but it's not as busy. This sort of Christmas period, October, November, or not November now because obviously the World Cup, but December when we come back and stuff, it's going to be busy, and we need form, we need confidence, we need good patterns, we need attacking play, and I think we've got that at the moment. So I'm just hoping we keep it up.
Yeah, no, I'm really liking the football that Potter's playing at the moment. You know, it's pretty much the same system, but yes, you say some subtle changes, obviously different instructions to the players. Maybe look, I mean, how much of this? I know he's been here for 5 games now. It's obviously four wins on the spin. Obviously, draw in the first one with Salzburg. I mean, how much of this do you put down to? Obviously, there's always going to be a slight new manager bounce, and how much of this you putting down to kind of the good work that Potter's doing? Because for me, I think it's a little bit of both. There's obviously naturally going to be a bounce when a new manager comes in, but I also think he's doing some good work. I mean, how would you view it, mate? Do you think part of it's new manager bounce and part of it's actually we are making improvements? How would you view that?
So what was that? I lost you there a little bit.
Oh, mate, just in
Cutting out.
terms of like in terms of new manager bounce, how much of this form, 4 wins in the last 5 games, are you putting down to sort of the work Potter's done, and how much do you think of it's to do with kind of the bounce of a new manager coming in?
Yeah, well, I don't really know like how much I think it is down to a bounce because again, like I don't exactly know how many of these players like wanted Tuchel gone.
Yeah,
I still stand by that. I seriously think a lot of them were kind of like on the edge. Maybe they just like, you know what I mean? I don't think it was like previous managers where we're like, oh my God, like finally he's gone, we've got him out sort of thing. They
yeah,
clearly had a lot of respect for Tuchel. And even though we wasn't playing very well, like even see the pictures when he got sacked and they came into training, like the shock on their faces, bro. Like, you
yeah.
know what I mean? They didn't expect that. Like it was so early on in the season. So I do think a lot of it is down to coaching and instructions and let's see how long it lasts. Let's see, how do we respond to, back-to-back defeats if they happen or a loss and a draw? How do we respond to that then? Those times
Yeah,
will come. Of course they will come. But right now, we've got to enjoy the positives. And the fact is, we're playing really well. And I didn't expect us to play so well tonight, to be honest with you.
no, I wasn't expecting it either. Obviously, I mean, I thought this was going to be a tough test tonight. It's kind of the biggest test of obviously of Potter's reign. His short time that he's been here, and we've come through it with flying colours. And yeah, I think things are looking really well. As you say, the fixtures coming up. We got Villa at the weekend. We got this Brentford away in there as well. We got United. There's no reason why we can't potentially win most of these games. But as you say, the real test will come is when we eventually lose a game or two to see how we react. Because obviously, when you're winning and confidence is flowing, everything's great. But it's obviously how you react when things aren't so good. But we haven't reached that stage yet, and hopefully we don't. But again, yeah, tonight was really really good. Are you disappointed we didn't score more goals? I mean, I know that's like is a little bit greedy, but do you think we could have perhaps got a few more, or just think 2-0, and you just kind of pass it around, make it difficult for Milan for the remainder of the game? Because we didn't really let them have any chances either, and I know they were down to 10 men, but they were awful.
Yeah, I don't know. The fan in me wants more goals, of course, but at the end of the day, I think we got the job done. And I mean, our goals weren't exactly like early, but they were
No,
relatively early. And I think once that happens, usually it's kind of it's definitely a theme. A lot of teams do sort of just,
yeah,
we've got the goals now. They're down to 10 men. Let's just sort of pass it around and score if we can, sort of thing. So yeah, there was definitely not that intensity there to score loads of goals, but I don't really care, to be honest. We've won the game. We've got 6 points from Milan, so we're now
yeah.
top of the group when we was bottom. So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just wanted to touch on a couple of Milan players before we move on. I seen you in tweeting out you weren't too pleased about kind of Tomori's comments, before kind of both fixtures. What what would you make of his performances over the 2 games? I mean, he obviously had a point to prove. Felt hard done by being let go by Chelsea. I think quite a few Chelsea fans, myself included, not best pleased that we did let him go so cheaply. He's done very well at AC Milan, but obviously, yeah, these 2 games against Chelsea, where he would have really wanted to impress, he was pretty awful in both of them. I mean, how did you view him over the 2 matches, and sort of why were you annoyed by his comments?
I don't know. Like I just felt like he's just got a bit of bitterness or something about him. Like I don't know. Like it's just like, who gassed you, mate? Like calm down. You know what I mean? Like of course he's going to defend his team, but at the same time, it's like, you didn't see the real Milan. Like he never mentioned, how he had a good time at Chelsea, and he
Yeah,
still, like I don't know. It just the vibes around him felt weird. Like he just felt like he really wanted to beat us, and I don't know why, because the problem wasn't really with the club or the fans; it was with Lampard. So, like, I don't know. I just maybe I'm wrong, but I just felt like he was a bit sort of come across a bit salty to me for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
pipe
I
down, mate. Like, you
suppose
know what I
if
mean? Like,
you're,
you see, like,
yeah,
Giroud's comments about Chelsea is like,
yeah,
like, I had such a good time here, and, the fans, and I'm looking forward to going back. Like, Tomori's a Chelsea Cobham grad. Like, he didn't once say, I'm looking forward to going back to
yeah.
Stamford Bridge. Like, it's just weird, man.
No, mate, I feel what you're saying. I mean, talking of Milan players, obviously Chelsea been linked with Rafa Leao last summer. Potential rumours of maybe making a move for him in January. He wasn't great in the first leg against in the first leg at the Bridge of this doubleheader. He was Milan's brightest player there. He was the only one tonight that looked like sort of making anything happen. I mean, what did you make of his performance tonight? And do you still want Chelsea to kind of make a move for him? Do you think it's still sort of the right profile of player, the sort of player that could make a difference for us?
Yeah, mate. To be honest, I do. I think he's really exciting. I think he showed glimpses tonight, even with 10 men, where I thought, yeah, like for me, it's just his raw pace. Like I've not
Yeah,
seen like
scary,
the
isn't
way
it?
he skipped past Chalobah in that second half. I was like, whoa, like you know what I mean? Like he literally just like did a step over and he was gone in a flash. And there's arguments obviously that you don't get kind of a lot of space in the Premier League, but at the same time, he's not just got pace; he's got a big physical build. So it's like a rare sort of mixture of attributes for a winger, especially. And I think those sort of wingers thrive in the Premier League. I mean, you look at someone like Will Sahar, for me, similar player, very, very good dribbler, good build, strong, can score goals. Yeah, I'd like Leao at Chelsea. Stylistically, I think he's similar to Zaha, and I think that sort of player could do really well on our team, especially with when you like add the likes of Nkunku and your
Yeah,
Mounts, everyone
yeah.
else like that all like mixed together. It's like that just gets me excited. Like I would like that, but let's see what the price would be, and if he might end up even extending because I think Maldini said pre-game they wanted his extension done before the World Cup. So let's see what happens. Let's see what offers are on the table. But I do know that they've obviously got that sort of tax issue where they need to pay, or someone needs to pay
Yeah.
like 16 million to Sporting. There's obviously that issue. So yeah, that will be interesting to see.
No, it certainly will be, mate. But it's definitely exciting times in the attacking department with potential players that could be coming in, and it could look very decent for us going forward. Next season. But that's obviously a long way away now. Second half, not really too much action. But I mean, are you impressed with how we kind of saw that game out as well? I know it's a bit easier against 10 men, but how disciplined we were as well, because we've seen in the past where we've been in similar situations and we've kind of let teams back in. And it's how pleased are you now, mate, that we've kept 3 clean sheets on the spin? Because having not kept one since the opening day of the season at Everton, we had looked shaky at the back for large parts of last season and the majority of this season. So how pleased are you now to see, mate, that we're looking defensively pretty good again?
Yeah, I mean we do look quite good. I think I don't know, like I still want to see us defensively against small teams. But yeah, I think Koulibaly's played quite well tonight. I think as well he's sort of coming into his own the last 2 games. I think he's played pretty well. Chalobah as well. Has not really surprised me, but in a sense, I think he deserves more respect as well because
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's got he definitely has a mistake in him. Obviously, he had that like weird header in the second half, but
Yeah, didn't know whether to go
but
for
at
a
the end of the
header or kick
day,
it away.
yeah, at the end of the day, like some people, like especially on Twitter, like get mad when he's starting. I just don't know
Oh,
why. Like
mate.
he's proved himself to be a decent level right centre back for us. So I think he deserves his praise as well. And yeah, I mean Thiago Silva's Thiago Silva. That like clearance when he slid in the box in the second half
Oh, mate.
was so good because I'm sure that was going to be a goal. Like it was like a scramble and he just poked it away and it just yeah. But I want to see us obviously more games defensively.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, before we get into the ratings, mate, I just want to ask you, like, what is going on with this Dennis Zakaria signing, by the way? Again, on the bench, not used. I mean, is he going to get any minutes? I mean, I've seen some reports saying that we might consider sending him back in January, cancelling the loan. I mean, what do you think's going on here? Because are you surprised we just haven't seen him at all? Because he's not a bad player.
Yeah, I don't know to be honest. I think it's a difficult situation. I think at the end of the day, like I mean, Fabrizio mentioned it the other day that it could end up. I mean, there's going to be talks. I feel like we will end up like terminating his loan, but it's just a weird one because I don't think we've got. I mean, we've got Man City away in the Carabao Cup. I just don't even think he'd start then. Obviously
I
not.
think
So
he's behind Chukwuemeka at the
yeah,
moment.
it's
I think he
just
is.
I don't like with signings. Like, I like to have a sense of sort of see them first. Like I want an actual opinion on them. Like don't like I seriously. If we sent him back in January having to play 0 minutes.
It's stupid, isn't it?
We don't know what he could have been. We will never know
Yeah.
what he could have been. We never know whether he was terrible, whether he could have been a decent player. So it's like, what on earth? And also that's really unfair on the player as well. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Yeah, conflicting stories of whether it was a Tuchel signing or not.
Yeah.
I've heard different things, but yeah, it's just a weird one for me.
It is a weird one, but yeah, let's get into some ratings, guys. By the way, keep smashing the likes on the stream and subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so already. So if you're watching now and you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Heading towards a 2K mark, so it'd be great to get there as quickly as possible. So yeah, please do subscribe to the channel, people. Right, mate. Let's bring the lineup up. Kepa tonight. Oh, I don't know why I've left Courtois in there, but let's quickly get that out. Kepa, mate, is clearly the number one now. Do you think that's the right decision?
I think right now, yeah, I want to
Yeah.
see Mendy's mentality. I want to see him fight his way back into the team. And I actually think this is brilliant, by the way, because I feel like when Mendy does come in back to that team, the first game back, wherever it is, he's going to pull an absolute masterclass. I can just feel it. Like, I honestly, I've said this for so long, and, I've been wrong on so many things, but I just feel like this is what Mendy needed, especially in that bad run of form. I feel like he needed time away from the team and just actually have competition. Like, there was so many games where he played bad, started the next game.
Yeah.
You subconsciously get away with those bad performances. Like, with this now, he can't have a bad game, otherwise he's staying on the bench. So when he does come back in, so this is great for me. Like, I'm loving this. The fact that we've got two goalies that are clearly sort of number ones for us at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I still do regard Mendy as that. Obviously, technically he's not, but I still think he's that level. So, yeah, I don't know when he'll come back in, but
No, I can't.
yeah,
To be honest,
I want to see him back in though, man, because I do like Mendy. And yeah, I don't know. I just have a soft spot for him. I think maybe because of the Champions League and stuff like that.
yeah.
I know how good he can be. It's he just dropped off quite a bit, but does that now ruin his Chelsea career? I think that'd be pretty sad if that's the case.
Definitely not. His Chelsea career is not done at all. But yeah, I think, as you say, mate, it's definitely the right decision right now. Kepa is playing really well, doesn't deserve to be dropped, and I think he ticks more boxes for Graham Potter than Mendy does. But obviously, doesn't mean that those things can't change. But in terms of tonight, mate, what did you make of him? I mean, he didn't really have very much to do, if anything. I guess it was just kind of just a fairly routine performance. I mean, wasn't really called upon at all.
Yeah, it wasn't really called upon at all, to be fair. Probably give him like 6.5, something like that, just above average, because he made a couple good passes, to be fair. But other than that, didn't really have much to do. So
yeah, mate, pretty straightforward. And I think it's fair to say that he's a number one going forward. And yeah, pretty solid night tonight, but hard to give him sort of too much praise because there wasn't really an awful lot to do. But yeah, another clean sheet for him, 3 in a row, and that'll be confidence building. Moving to Chalobah, he touched on him earlier. I thought again, yes, a little bit of a shaky moment when he didn't know whether to go with his head or go with his feet. But it didn't come to anything, so that's fine. What did you make of his performance now? I thought it was really solid. If we're being honest, I don't think he really did too much wrong at all. And yeah, I'm so glad that he's finally getting an opportunity. I know it's at the expense of Fofana, but sometimes you need some luck. I felt he'd been hard done by at the start of the season, not really getting any minutes after how good he was last season. And he's coming to this game, he's coming to previous games. And again, he's hardly put a foot wrong. I mean, are you delighted, Pys, to be seeing him get a run on the side? Because I think he deserves it. And he's a very important member of this squad as well.
that Chalobah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I think with the pecking order, I think Wesley Fofana was always going to play, and then I feared that Aspi would be the next right centre back. But at the end of the day, I think he's gone with Chalobah, so I respect it. He's younger, he's more fresher. I think I think Aspie's very underrated on the ball, passing wise, but
Yeah.
Chalobah's also good. So yeah, man, I'm happy for him. To go. It's not easy as well for these Cobham grads. Suddenly, they love the club at the end of the day, and when they don't play and they feel like they have to move away, it's sad. So I still remember, Broja wanted to, well, apparently, according to reporters, wanted to move in the
He
summer because
wanted
he
to go
didn't
to
think he
West
was,
Ham, didn't he? Yeah.
yeah, he didn't think he was going to get games. And I watched that interview after he scored against Wolves, and
Wolves.
it was just brilliant. Like you could just see the happiness of him inside of him. How much it meant to him. So yeah, it's definitely really important for Chalobah to continue playing for Chelsea as long as he performs.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think tonight, mate, I'd probably give him a 7. I thought he was pretty good. I'd say he was. Yeah, I think a 7. Would you go along the lines of actually think a 7's fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. To
Yeah.
be fair. Yeah.
Moving on to Thiago Silva. I mean, every week I talk about this guy. I mean, I can't believe he's 37. I mean, how does he make the game just look so easy? He was faultless again tonight. I mean, I don't really know how much more we can say about him, but just week after week, he's one of the best players on the pitch without fail. I mean, how impressed were you with him tonight? And I guess a new contract is an absolute no-brainer, providing he wants to stay.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, 100%, bro. He's just a legend, man. He's so good, and yeah, I don't know if I love anyone more in this team than him. To be honest with you, maybe Reece James, maybe Kovacic, but yeah, Thiago Silva's just insane. Quiet night tonight, to be fair, but I think for that sort of one clearance, that tackle, that slide sort of clearance / tackle in the box, I'll probably give him a 7 as well. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't too much to do for him really, to be perfectly honest. But again, he was outstanding. I mean, I might push it to a 7.5. I think he was slightly better than Chalobah. I'll give him a 7.5. But I'll tell you who I thought was the best of the three tonight. And obviously he knows the San Siro well. He knows Milan well, having played them so many times during his Napoli career. Mate, would you agree with me that this was Koulibaly's best game in a Chelsea shirt? I think defensively, I know he was good against Tottenham. He got the goal and stuff, but he's been out the side. He's obviously back in now under Potter again, and I don't know. I just thought he was really good tonight.
Yeah, I'd probably still say Everton. To be fair, I think defensively we was tested quite a bit against them, but yeah, I mean he was good. He was definitely good. His passing's good. And he looked a bit more comfortable tonight at the left centre back. I guess Brahim Diaz down that side didn't really test him, and obviously he came off early, so he didn't have the biggest of tests. But yeah, I think he was decent. I'll probably go with a 6.5 just because I didn't see him, as much as Chalobah in my opinion. But I think he played quite well, and yeah, I've seen a comp of him on Twitter, and just to have a little look back at some of the bits, and yeah, he did quite good. I think that moment where Chalobah messed up the header. I think Chalobah did well to recover. He almost like pushed him into Koulibaly, but Koulibaly tackled him. And also there was that one where Dest had the shot. I think Koulibaly closed him down really well to cut off the angles. So I will go over 7 actually. I'll go over 7.
I think a 7's fair. Obviously Reece James injury, we don't know what that's going to be like. I mean, hopefully it's not too bad. We'll obviously await more news. Up until that point, though, Pys, again, he had Leao pretty much pocketed. He showed some good skill, some good passing. He again was pretty good tonight. And yeah, obviously the injury is a problem. Hopefully it's not too bad. Another solid performance from James, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very good. I don't really know what to say. It's just levels, man. It's levels.
Yeah, that
ball to Mount in the first half for that penalty was just so good, and he was toying them. The overlaps, like constantly up and down the flank. He's so good, man. I thought he dealt with Leao pretty well as well. I think the only time he got beat by Leao was when he was injured and came back on, which was quite funny. So it just goes to show how good he is. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, mate, I would agree with that. I mean, mate, obviously, we did touch on it slightly earlier. I mean, hopefully it's going to be a best case scenario and it's not too bad. But you probably say this is injury to Reece James is like probably the worst player in the squad that could possibly get injured, just because of A, how important he is to the team, and B, the fact that we just don't really have any suitable cover there. Yes, Ruben could fit in for a couple of games, but if it was to be long term, you are slightly struggling. I mean, do you worry about the lack of cover in that right wing back area and the fact that of how reliant we are on Reece James as well?
Yeah, 100%. Reece is, I think, probably go as far to say our most key player, in my
Yeah, I'd
opinion.
agree, mate.
I think he's so good. Every time he's injured, we look so much worse. And you know, yeah, he's okay. I'm absolutely praying with everything I have that he's okay, and it's not too long. Worst case scenario, a couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, I'm praying. And his tweet as well has made me more nervous because that kind of just means his tweets kind of mean he's also waiting for sort of results and that. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess the good thing is if they haven't like put him in a knee brace like Fofana, he came out at full time. He was on
Yeah, there's
crutches.
no
He was on the
crutches,
pitch.
no.
So fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I'm praying, man.
Fingers crossed. We really can't do without him. Mate, moving on to Chile. I've seen a few people in the chat being critical of him, and I've seen a few things on Twitter, people being critical of him as well. I mean, just on the criticism of Chilwell before we talk about his performance tonight, can you understand why people are criticising him? Because I just don't really get it.
Um,
I know he's not been great, but
yeah, a little bit.
he's still coming back from injury, and
Yeah, I just think
he's not exactly playing terribly.
no, he's not playing terribly. I think he's just playing average though, and I think that the
Yeah,
fact is when Cucurella plays, I think like especially tonight, man, like Cucurella going forward, I think with some of those like line breaking passes and those
yeah.
it's sort of like those gaps he finds, I think that are really good. So I think with Chilwell, he does seem to pass it back a lot, and I think there was a couple of moments even when he got inside the box, he didn't really sort of know. There was one time where he like kind of lost his footing, and yeah, I don't know. I just think I don't know. Maybe Cucurella is just a bit more agile and quicker. I don't know. I don't know what it is with Cucurella. I like him more as well. I have to say,
I like him. Yeah,
but yeah, I think Chilwell was okay. I'd probably give him an average 6, but
yeah.
I don't think he was awful. I just think he's not. Now we've got Cucurella. It's like wow. We're sport for choice here, really. So, whereas I
Yeah.
think if you even if you're seeing this Chilwell and you still have like Alonso and Emerson, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
people would be praising Chilwell more.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
No, mate, I agree with that. I mean, it's going to take him time to get back to full fitness and hopefully return to the form that we have seen from him. But also it just goes to show with Cucurella coming in as well, he's done really well, and it just goes to show that it doesn't it's not a problem now, as you said. If Chilwell's not playing that well, we've got Cucurella. It's not like we have to keep playing Chile because the other options are Malang Sarr and Marcus Alonso. We're blessed now to have two top draw players in that position, so we can just kind of rotate between them and not really too much changes. So I think that's a big plus on that side. Moving into the midfield, then let's talk about Jorginho, another guy that comes in for criticism from Chelsea fans. He's done a lot for the club. I think it's his 200th appearance tonight for the club, or 200th start, one or the other. This was his best game of the season, and it was a classic Jorginho performance. One that you expect to see on the European stage. I mean, he kind of reminded us what he can do, but we just don't seem to see it as often as we would like at the moment. I mean, what did you make of him tonight? Because I felt he really made things tick in midfield, and it was a vintage Jorginho performance.
Yeah, very, very good. I think he ended the game 98% pass accuracy. Ice cold in his veins from the penalty. Big moment. If he misses that, changes the
Yeah,
game still. Even though they had a red, still 0-0, and we got to find that breakthrough. So, yeah. You also had a laser pen in his eye
yeah,
from
I've
the
seen
penalty.
that.
So, that's really, really poor. But it does happen in these away games, European away games, quite a bit with some fans. So, yeah. I'll give him. I think James was probably equally as good at the time he was on the pitch. So I'll give Jorginho an 8 as well. But yeah, he really helped in that midfield tonight, as you said, made things tick. Just controlled the game. Him and Kovacic, they're so good at like either
Yeah,
quickening the game up or like slowing it down. Like there was a moment where they were just doing like 1-2s to each other, and then all of a sudden, like just before like Kovacic pops the ball over. Later on pops the ball over to Havertz. And it's like that could have been 3-0. So they can do both really. And these games suit them when, we have a lot of the ball when they had a red card. So I think it was ideal, really, how the game went in the end.
Wait, would you say that these two is our best midfield pairing? Obviously, I know we got Kante out injured still. Ruben's playing well at the moment, of course. But do you think this Kovacic and Jorginho, when it's the big games, do you think this is our best midfield pairing when we go with this system?
I still think, I don't know, really. It depends on the opponent. I still think we would like to see like more, obviously, Ruben in there with either one, either or, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, this midfield is tried and trusted in a lot of big games. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, really. I guess it just depends on who we're playing for me.
Yeah, it's definitely it seems to be used in the big games. Tuchel used it a lot as well. But yeah, I would like to see Ruben in there personally. But yeah, no complaints. I mean, on Kovacic tonight, much better from him again. He looked really good. How impressed were you with him? He's probably arguably our most important midfield player.
Yeah, very good. I think again helped the ball tick. I think he should have had that assist in there.
Yeah,
To Havertz. Havertz has got to control that for me,
I mean
man.
that
Like I know,
touch was
like
so bad.
I know the thing is like it's not as easy as you see on the TV, but
No, it's not.
I know he can control that. Like, come on, like
Yeah,
yeah, that was a big chance, and yeah, he just played really well. And I think Kovacic, he played that line breaking pass into Mount, who then played the first time ball into Aubameyang, which actually was our second goal. So
yeah.
Kovacic started that goal. I thought he was really good as well. I'd probably go. God, I was going to give him the same rating. I'd probably go 7.5, just
Yeah, I was
because
going to say not
just
quite as
because
good.
just because I read on one of the stats, he actually only won 1 out of his 8 ground duels, I think. So that was
Nice. Yeah, it's
that was
quite
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 poor,
low
but
for his
yeah,
standards, isn't it?
yeah. But I think everything else was pretty good
Yeah,
for
no,
me.
he was pretty spot on tonight. I have to say. Moving on then, mate. Let's move up to Mason Mount. Only played a half. Was given the official man of the match. Won the penalty. I guess that counts as an assist. And he also set up Aubameyang as well. So man of the match, making things happen. This was probably for me. This could be Mount's best performance of the season. I thought again this went up a level from Wolves at the weekend. Difficult opposition in the San Siro, intimidating atmosphere. This was Mason Mount at his best. I felt his best performance of the season. Making things happen, great passing, great vision, great awareness. And people get on his back because they know how good a player he is and that he can put out performances like this. And it's just frustrating when we don't see it on a consistent basis. But this was really good tonight from him, and he really stood out, and he did put on a masterclass in that first half. I mean, Pys, are you of the same opinion, bro? Do you think this was the Mason Mount that we expect to see?
Yeah, I think so, bro. Really good. I think it's just I think it's just helping him like playing more in these attacking positions in terms of like as well, because we do play a lot of 4 at the back as well now, like on and
Yeah.
off the ball. So the system and the formation's constantly changing. So yeah, he's definitely improving. I think getting in sort of more advanced areas, less being sort of out on the wide side. So yeah, he was really good tonight. So as I said earlier, some of his turns, his passing was really
Yeah.
good. So yeah, he got man of the match. And just based off the first half, I'd probably have to give him an 8.5. To be honest,
Yeah,
I think he's very good.
he was really good. He was really good. Potter was just saying, like, those fans for me, he's on Mount. He was saying he's really important. He was on a yellow card and he's played a lot of football. So at half time, we gave him a breather. I mean, it's a great position to be in, that, isn't it? The fact that away in the Champions League to AC Milan, we can give one of our most important players a breather. I mean, it's not a bad position to be in. But yeah, I would agree, mate, on the 8. What was it, 8.5 you were giving him
Yeah,
on that first half performance? I think that's fair. I mean, whilst we're here, I don't normally rate subs, but of course Gallagher did play a full half. We might as well discuss him. What did you make of him? Again, a big opportunity for Conor Gallagher coming on in the San Siro, playing much higher up the pitch as well, which is a lot better for him. He was being done no favors being played in that pivot previously. He had a couple of opportunities. I felt he acquitted himself pretty well. I mean, you impressed with Gallagher tonight? You like what you saw?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was pretty decent, to be fair.
Yeah, he was all right, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was all right. I think again, I think he improved a little bit on the ball. I think there was one cutback where I think he could have had a probably shot it first time, but he was all right, to be fair, man. And a lot better than I thought he would be. I think I don't know whether he's improving or whether he's just got confidence after recent outings. So I also watched a video of him. He did an interview after the Crystal Palace game, and like I'm really behind him. I want him to do well because clearly again you can see what it means to him. Like he just wants to help out the team and do his best for Chelsea. So I like that about a player, and I think it was a good substitution because the one thing with Gallagher is he's going to relentlessly press, and he did that tonight. And I think it's not easy when they've got one less defender as well, and you have someone like Gallagher just running after you trying to get the ball. So yeah, you're on mute, bro.
Good. I totally agree, mate. I mean, how pleased are you to see him being used further up the pitch? Because he really wasn't working out for him in that pivot role. It just wasn't. It's just not suited to his game. It's not what he does. And he's almost now playing. He's basically essentially playing in the front three because he did that pretty much against Wolves, where he was very good. I thought it was man of the match, and he was good against tonight. Are you pleased to see him playing further up the pitch? I did feel a bit sorry for him when he was being played in that pivot because it just wasn't working for him.
Yeah, I don't think he was a pivot player, to be honest. Really enjoyed his performance against Wolves as a number 8. I thought he was really good, and
Really
today
good.
he kind of came on as like more like a right wing almost. I felt,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I thought he was decent, to be fair. Hopefully he can just like keep this up and not dip in form because you've got the likes of Pulisic on the bench.
Yeah.
You've got Broja who wants chances. Ziyech doesn't. I mean, Ziyech wasn't here tonight, but he doesn't really seem to be in the
mate.
pecking order. So
No,
yeah,
he's not. I mean, to be fair, mate, for Gallagher, I'll probably give him maybe 6.5 or a 7. I think is fair for his contributions. I'll go 6.5. I think that's fair. Moving on to Sterling. I mean, Sterling's been important for us this season. He has pretty much carried the attack for the majority of this season. I felt he had a quiet game tonight. Didn't really offer very much at all. Struggled to get involved in the game. Was obviously subbed off, and Ruben replaced him. Quiet evening for Sterling, wasn't it, mate? Not really involved in the game, and not one of his better performances for us.
Yeah, I don't really know what to think about Sterling because it's a weird one.
It just didn't happen.
but it's a weird one because when I watch him, like I like watching him.
Yeah.
Like when he's on the ball, and like I like watching him, and even like when he has he doesn't get a goal or assist, I still feel like I don't ever feel like he has an awful or a terrible performance. Like I still feel like he has like moments where he picks up good movement, or he'll dribble forward, or he just I don't know. I just like watching him, even when he doesn't play great, which is I guess a good sign. I mean, some people disagree and say he's not doing enough. But I'd probably give him a 6 as well tonight. I don't really think that sort of side with Chilwell and Sterling worked, but at the end of the day, I think Sterling's going to score plenty of big goals for us, and hopefully he'll be more involved soon, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. I mean, moving on to Aubameyang, we touched on him earlier. 3 goals in his last 3 games now. Another great finish, pretty much his only chance, and we don't want him there for his link-up play and to be involved in the overall game as such. We just want him in the box and to be able to put the ball in the net when it matters. And that's exactly what he did again tonight. They were judging him on his all-round game. Okay, wasn't great, but he's just there to score goals, and that's what he did. Were you pleased with what you saw from Oba? I mean, it wasn't the best, but when it mattered, he was there and he applied a great finish.
Yeah, sorry, I just saw something really funny on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think Aubameyang, I said earlier, I don't think he was great all round, like in terms of
No.
I felt like he lost the ball a few times, and was that one where there was something in the box and I thought he didn't do something fast enough, like he didn't turn fast enough. I think he had a goal scoring opportunity. I've lost my mind, but I know what I'm talking about in my head. I just can't quite get it. But yeah, he had another chance to score, but I think he just took too long with it. So yeah, I think but the goal was great, but I think overall he wasn't amazing. I'll give him a 7. To be fair,
Yeah, he's in
think he was
in
a
there for the
7, but
goals. Yeah, he's in there for
you
the
know,
goals.
yeah, he's not a Havertz or a Firmino. You know, he needs goals, and as I said to you earlier, I've already kind of talked about Aubameyang. I think he needs to
Yeah,
keep his confidence up and just start as many games as possible. I know he's 33, but you know he's clearly got legs in there. A couple of runs he made early on in the night as well.
yeah,
I don't know who played that deep pass. I think it might have been Reece James or someone. Where he won a corner off that new defender early on in
yeah,
the
yeah.
game. I liked that run. I liked some of his movements. So yeah, decent.
Yeah, no, I think it was good, mate. I like what he's doing. At the end of the day, we haven't bought him to be an all-action centre forward. We've bought him to just be there to be a penalty box striker, and at the moment, that's what he's doing. So we can't really complain too much about it. I mean, maybe you disappointed that we didn't see Brozier from the bench. I mean, I thought with a game done, it would have been good to give him some big experience in a Champions League game in the San Siro. I'm a bit disappointed that Havertz came on instead. I mean, do you think Brozier should have been given an opportunity tonight? I know we're slightly nitpicking here. I'm not blaming Potter or anything like that, but I just feel it could have been a good opportunity to give a young player like Brozier some more experience, particularly off the back of getting his first goal.
Yeah, maybe. Although he could be saving him maybe for the weekend. I don't know. I feel like Graham Potter has things in mind in terms of a lot of rotation and stuff. But again, I think I don't want to say there's going to be problems if you bring Broyer on before Havertz. But again,
Yeah.
Havertz is. I feel like sometimes we forget like he's a £72 million signing for
No,
us.
he is, isn't
So
he? Yeah, no,
you know,
yeah. No, I know what you're
you
saying, mate.
got to bring him on. I guess even before Broyer in certain games, and I think the only thing I would say is like I'm sort of a little bit surprised he didn't bring Havertz on for Mount and put Havertz sort of where Gallagher was playing and then bring Broyer on later for Aubameyang. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
will say, and he chose to put Gallagher there, so I thought that was interesting. But I guess yeah, it's up to Graham Potter, I guess.
Yeah, it's up to Potter, really. Right, let me just unshare this. I just wanted to get a couple of things in the chat before we round out. Jack asking, mate, from what you've sort of been reading, for what you might know, I've seen a few reports saying this is a slight possibility. How likely is it, do you think, Leao to Chelsea in January? I personally feel probably virtually zero chance. I mean, what are you saying about that?
It depends on what it means. I think a pre-agreement for the summer in
Yeah,
January
yeah,
could be possible. In terms of buying him in January, I think yeah, virtually no chance. But I think something could be worked on there, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Todd Bowley and Bedard have both been speaking to Milan.
having some
I
meetings today.
bro, they've been there for this game. Matt Law revealed that they had a meeting with Milan officials in Mayfair, London, after the game last week.
Yeah,
So they've had meetings, and I was the first one to say, like, Todd, what the hell are you doing when you was doing this the meeting with the Premier League executives? That meal. I was like, oh, for God's sake! But it turned
yeah.
out that he actually was talking about some players there. So I wouldn't be surprised if some transfer business is on the cards.
Yeah, you just never know. But yeah, it doesn't look like. I mean, I don't understand that. Yeah, Davy. Yeah, obviously a Milan fan. Yeah, I don't know what any of that says. But yeah, thanks for tuning in anyway. Yeah. I mean, that could be some vile abuse aimed at me and you, mate. But or it could be something quite supportive. So if anyone can translate that, it would be appreciated. I mean, mate, we move on to Villa on yeah, John, cheers, mate. Thanks. Guys, by the way, before we round out, please keep smashing the likes on the stream and please keep subscribing to the channel as well. Heading towards that 2K mark, not too far away now. So every new subscriber helps. If you're tuned in now and you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Mate, how are you feeling heading into Villa on the weekend? I was not going to go into detail talking about the game, but you feeling confident? We've got quite a few days rest now, so yeah, I think there's reason to be optimistic.
Yeah, I think Villa are not really in a great state right now, man.
Nah, they're not.
They're not. I think you see Steven Gerrard. There's a lot of rumours about him going to be potentially be sacked. I mean, I'd love for us to smash him 5-0, and then bye bye. We're the ones that get Gerrard sacked.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
Well, as long as he's not sacked before, as long as he's not sacked
Yeah,
before
no,
this game.
I don't think he will be. Usually, the day after the final game, you're like, yeah, he's gone, sort of thing. So that kind of happened with the Wolves manager, and yeah, but Just reading that comment there. There was
Yeah, stop. Well,
yeah, okay, bro.
okay, mate. It is what it is. We deserve the win regardless. But yeah, no, I see no reason not to feel optimistic heading into the weekend. And I mean, mate, obviously, just to round out Champions League qualification, having looked pretty perilous and in a tricky situation, before heading into this double header now, you confident we're going to win the group? We've got Salzburg away and Zagreb at home to finish. We should be winning both those games, really.
Yeah, we should. I think Salzburg away is going to be difficult.
That's a bit more tricky, yeah.
At the end of the day, though, I mean, we've just gone to San Siro and we've won. So I don't think you get a tougher place than that, really, in this group.
No,
Maybe not even in Europe.
So.
There's a lot of tough grounds. I think that one with the atmosphere is very, very hard. So yeah, I expect us to win both of those games. As long as we win one, I think we need to win one more and then we're through. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a formality now. And having been a little bit worried that we might drop into the Europa League, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen now. So that's a big plus. I mean, Pys seems like a good point to round out, bro. If people sort of don't know what you do, if they've not come across you before, which I'm sure most people have. Best place to check you out: Twitter, website. I've linked both in the description. You got any stuff coming up? Any new merch or anything like that?
Yeah, we do have the shop. We're working on it a little bit. Hopefully there's some collaborations, but yeah, that's shop CFC 365. Do go and check out, guys, if you want anything. And yeah, I think my website Chelsea FC 365. We should have some reaction to the game and stuff maybe tomorrow morning. So yeah, that's definitely always a good read in my opinion. So yeah, mate, cheers for having me on.
Nah, mate, it's a pleasure. Good to show you back on. Good to talk all things Chelsea. Guys, all those things are linked in the description below, so please do go and check all that stuff out. Before you leave, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for getting involved in the chat. Great night for Chelsea. On your way out, guys, continue to smash those likes and subscribe to the channel as well. It doesn't take long and it really helps me out, so please do that. A great night for Chelsea in the San Siro, top of the Champions League group. 4 wins on the spin now, and we head on to Aston Villa on Sunday afternoon. I'll be back in the next couple of days with an Aston Villa preview. So until then, guys, thanks for tuning in. Take care and up the Chelsea.